Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jake, this is Nadia, this is Buddy, this is Sedona, and Bobby was downstairs sleeping. Today we are talking about John Wick, Chapter 4. I have a lot to say about this movie.
I have a lot to say as well.
But to preface this, I will say we were totally unfamiliar with the John Wick movies until a few days ago. The day before, we decided to binge the first three films.
The night before, the day before.
Okay. We watched the first one together. We watched most of the second one together, and then I caught a few scenes of the third one. But
I watched all three.
We just didn't have, there was stuff to do. But
I watched all three.
You did. They were fun. I will say I loved the first one. There is definitely like an escalation to each movie of like production value, the lighting. You know, these movies are so well lit and the action is so fun. Watching the first three, I was not prepared for the level it'd go to in Chapter 4. And I think that's what everyone's saying, is that it really brought it to like an action epic. Like they were really trying to make like 3-hour action epic, quoting like Lawrence of Arabia in the first, scene and all of that. Just really balls to the wall. So what did you think?
Holy, so should we are we able to spoil like the first three?
I don't think there's any need to spoil anything because the story is not as important as just the characters, the new characters in this one, and the action. All right.
Well, then I think that this movie for me was a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow.
It was really, I loved it. There's not many action films that I love as much as I liked this one.
Yeah.
I mean, like Jake said, we binge watched, or at least I watched all the three of them before we watched the fourth one. The second and third were okay. I mean, I liked them too, but first one was really
they have really high moments.
They have really high moments.
But there's some boring parts.
There's some repetitive parts, but I really love, I thought they were all executed fairly well, but I'm ranking them. Fourth is the best one. First is the second best. Third is probably at the end.
I need to rewatch the second and third to really judge them because again, I didn't see them in their entirety.
That would be my ranking though.
Okay. And I mean, they're amazingly directed and choreographed. It's like watching extended dance sequences.
It was, and it is. In every single film, you'll have a really great action scene that is at a club or somewhere. And then not only is in the background you see people dancing, but it's literally like the flow of one bullet moving towards another in itself becomes a sequence of a certain specific dance. And it's really interesting to watch.
Yeah, and the movies almost like silent movies, and in that you watch them less for the story than like the physical entertainment. It's a spectacle, but it's also just so visually, it's an experience, And the last movie I saw where I thought I want to see this again in theaters to experience it was Avatar 2. Mm-hmm. And this one I thought after seeing it, I was like, I could totally watch that again. And it's 3 hours. Oh, it's nearly 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I think there's been a lot of recent big Hollywood movies that are 3 hour, The Batman, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And those movies, you feel the runtime. This, I was amazed. I didn't want it to end. I remember.
Well, I was happy that it ended because I think that there is a level in which you stop paying attention no matter how good the film is.
No, I was invested so much straight through this one.
No way. If it was 30 minutes longer, I think you would have been okay.
I don't know. Each set piece was so long and the fighting and action was so long, but they had mini scenes within the scenes. It just kept escalating and building, and until finally the last hour of the movie was just so good, so good. And even beyond that, the story isn't strong. All of the stuff with the assassins and the underworld, that stuff is part of the world, but it's not the focus of the movies. That's just kind of the pretext to get all the individuals in their places so that we can see what happens. But they actually did an amazing thing with the final act of the movie where there was some emotional investment, some new characters that are really entertaining. And I love how these movies do a very brief but very engaging sketches of these new characters where they're painted in just these very broad strokes, but there's a real person there that you come to care about in the movies. And this one did it so well. And I don't think it's a spoiler to say that there's a big Good, the Bad, and the Ugly influence on this one. It really pulled it off. And by the end, I was, we were biting our nails watching it.
On a very off-related note.
Oh, I'd give it a 9 out of 10, by the way.
Ooh, very close to what I said. Okay. Does Keanu Reeves ever age?
He's getting up there, but the action, the physical skill and effort it must take to do these,
Yes, and I don't want to spoil it, and I can get into the spoiler section, but I must say, throughout the whole series, they have to get him into DC or Marvel universe somehow. Like, there's no freaking way.
He doesn't need that. Look, this is better. Like, I feel like the big actors who are in Marvel are like, I wish we had what Keanu Reeves has in John Wick or what Tom Cruise has in Mission Impossible, because those are like their movies. They're identifiable, but they are stars, like Keanu Reeves is a star, but the Marvel actors, it's like they're just kind of like playing characters, it's less, I feel like, I don't know, you probably know more about this, but yeah. I feel like they're envious of people like Keanu.
No, I agree. It's just, it's so amazing like how he almost has a supernatural element. I mean, he definitely does, but
it gets so silly that it's just, but the movie never like does like the wink wink nudge nudge, like it has this kind of deadpan feel where it's like, you're going to take this seriously. Keanu Reeves is going to fall off a building and survive. Like, it's just the kind of like silent movie, like hilarious.
But
like,
it's also self-aware, I think, in the sense that like, I just love like the humor. I love the fact that like all the villains, they're funny in like even in their darkest moments.
I mean, anytime someone underestimates John Wick and then he proves himself, it's always hilarious. Anytime a villain is like, damn it.
Yeah. Really well done. Scenery amazing. I love like that it takes place in different locations throughout all the films.
You can see each movie, it gets more expensive, and you can see every dollar on screen, it feels like.
I really want to spoil. Can we spoil?
I would actually say, even if you haven't seen any of the other John Wick movies, I don't think you need to, because you can come in and watch this and there's a lot of new characters and it's mostly about the new characters.
There's enough like information in the film that you don't need to know and watch the last film, but it does pick off exactly where the last film left off. Like,
I will say before we go into spoilers, Donnie Yen as the blind assassin, by far my favorite addition to the series. Absolutely love that character. So, yeah. All right, spoilers. Go see the movie. 3, 2, 1.
I love that it starts out with a dog and it ends with a dog in the films, but all the films, but also as a whole. Yeah. So, like, we don't know 100% if John Wick is dead. I mean, it's portrayed as dead, but we don't see his body buried. We don't see him actually, like, take his last breath.
Based on the reception, I'm pretty sure they're going to do a 5th one. But thing is, like, this could be such a perfect conclusion if they don't.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna like kill him and then have another character there. I mean, there's still the daughter of the assassin, and she actually says that in the film. She's like, says to John, "Are you gonna kill him, or will I have to do it?" When they're in the train escaping the hotel. So.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I have to say this, but like, I love that the reason why one of the assassins, the nobody assassin, doesn't kill John Wick, even though he's super capable of doing it, is because John ends up saving his dog. And the dog like moans when he's like trying to put a bullet in John, and then he's like, "Oh man, forget it." And it wasn't even worth $40 million. And I love like that. I love that like underlining there. It's just, I just love that. It's just amazing.
There were so many like what the fuck fantastic moments, and like that with the having a dog in a John Wick movie. First off, there's a lot of baggage there. You know, you're like on edge about it, but the fact that the dog makes it through, and there's some great bits with the dog.
One way, like, honestly, the death in the beginning was gruesome enough. This symbolism that holds true, that's what got him in the revenge path. And there's something in there. There's a little bond that's shown.
And to people who say it's really the dog just represents his dead wife, and that's why he's attached, and that's why he's upset about it. People who say that, it's like, first off, like, we as an audience are more connected to the dog. We get to actually be around the dog. We're talking about the first one now, of course, but we just see brief snapshots of his wife. Like, we care about the dog more than his wife, But I just think that there's more going on there, and I like that the movie kind of brought it in with like the dog stuff and how John Wick is.
Well, but then also like every film, there's like a dog loving in there.
I just love the price going up each movie, like for John Wick to be killed, and just in this world, in this universe, you're either an assassin or someone who's in a club. there's no other professions. There's no other governments or police. There's just assassins.
Well, it's a whole system, and that's what I like. It's a corporation, right? And then the high table, they're like the CEOs, basically, of a corporation. You can see clearly how the system works. There's literally, you call a person, they are either in good graces or not in good graces. There are rules for assassins, so it's like there's honors. There's an honor among thieves. It's literally that.
Yeah, but it's also so complex and ridiculous that you can really do anything with it.
You can.
And so I like how they kind of use the complexity of the system to form the final act of this movie, where there's the duel. Like, they're able to bring this like archaic thing into the movie, into this modern movie, and have this great final act because of just this bullshit, organization that can do whatever. So, I think they use that to good effect. I do want to ask you, I think this may be fun, but what was your favorite action sequence in the movie? Smaller ones, like you have the Arc de Triomphe one with the cars. You have the staircase, obviously. You have the one where the camera goes up above.
Yeah. I'm just so excited to say this.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's the stairs one.
That's your favorite.
Because he keeps falling down. He goes up, then he falls down, and it's like we're on time. Obviously, we're watching it. It's like there's no way that's like 2 minutes. It's been like 10 minutes already, this whole action sequence before the sun comes up. But I love it because he keeps going up, and then it's like he goes down, and then you're like, this guy is not human. I also love the scene in Paris where they're in the city. Like, he keeps getting run over by cars, different assassins do it. And that's when I'm like, they need to, like, is this supposed to, like, be, like, is he supposed to get into Marvel or DC universe? Because, like, this is, no person can survive all of this.
I agree. I love the final part. I mean, the whole section. I love the fact that we've been watching these movies and they have this like operation where they're raising the price on John Wick and doing the stamps and stuff. And then the radio, and we pull out and it turns out it's in the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah. I love that.
It's so funny.
That is really funny. And I also love that, like, the nobody, because he names himself, he calls himself Nobody, calls the guy, Hightower guy, who's the actor in It, I forget his
Bill
name.
Skarsgård.
Yes, he goes, okay, 25 million, 35 million, and then goes, okay, fine, I'll pay 30 million or whatever. Goes, okay, you're gonna give me 45 million? That's not the deal. You gotta pay for what you want, kind of thing. It's like, okay. I love how they're like negotiating with all of that.
And Bill Skarsgård did a great job.
He did. He's an interesting guy because he's a really good villain.
Oh, yeah. He's always typecast that way, but there's a reason. He's just great at it. And the scene with the stabbing Nobody in the hand, and that was great.
I also like the end where, like, he thinks that, like, John is dead and he forgets that John has a bullet. Like, he didn't fire the bullet. And then he just goes, oh, your debt is cleared. He clears everyone's debt.
I didn't even know he didn't fire, but yeah. I mean,
that was done, executed perfectly, because you think it's a double duel. You don't know 100% if someone fires because you're firing at the same time, so the sound is not like as evident.
So yeah, and here's the thing, that whole duel was fantastic because you're thinking, and we're both thinking, like, hinted at throughout the movies, like, he doesn't really have anything he's fighting for anymore. It's just like he's just escalating through the ranks. Like, at some point it's got to end. Donnie Yen's character, he has a daughter. Like, it's very clear what he's fighting for, and that they're going to battle, and it's like they're basically the same, they're friends, so it's hard, and we're both thinking, like, it's going to have to be Donnie Yen's character who wins. That's how it's going to have to go. John Wick will die somehow. It'd be pretty
heartless if he let his daughter die, right? So.
Yeah, but also, like, how is it going to be with the villain? And, like, you can't just end the movie that way. And I thought they did it perfectly in the way where, Bill Skarsgård is, his ego is like, all right, now I'm going to get the final shot. And that went great. And then, yeah, of course, they leave it up for interpretation with
the death.
It's kind of like John Wick's like Michael Myers. Like, unless you see him in the meat grinder, getting destroyed.
Even then, I don't know. I kind of...
Even then, yeah, he could come back.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let us know if you watched the film. If so, let us know your ranking. It would be interesting without you, like, fully seeing the second and third.
Let us know how you think they'll continue with the series. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.